Hi, folks. Merv Neal from Laughter Yoga Australia, and welcome to our what is it? June? Is it June already? I think it's June already. Our June podcast, and our podcast guest for this month is Beck Tuesley. Now, the people that I have been interviewing in the past podcasts, and you can jump on the YouTube channel and check out all the past podcast people I've known for 10, 15, 20 years. What's interesting about Beck, and she can correct me because my mind's not what it used to be, I think I've only known Beck for about 2 years. But what's interesting about Beck is from the time that she began, she was so committed to the whole cause that she just went from strength to strength to strength. So I thought I'd interview her because she is testimony of what you can do very, very quickly if you commit to this thing called laughter. So Beck, thanks very much for agreeing to have a chat with me today.
Welcome.
We're going to get on to what a superstar you are now and have become in such a short period of time. But I want to know the Beck before laughter yoga. Who was that person?
Beck before Laughter Yoga was going through a pretty hard journey. I have experienced childhood trauma and intergenerational trauma, and as a result grew up very fearful of the world. If you knew me probably even 20, 30 years ago, I probably wouldn't even talk in front of anyone, let alone a camera talking to you online. I'd be scared to get in front of anyone and talk. So to overcome my fear, I actually became a musician.
Oh, right. I did not know that.
So, and the reason was I love music. Music just soothes my soul, makes me so happy. And so I decided to perform to overcome my fear of being in front of people.
Oh,
And at first I needed a little bit of, just to sort of help me overcome my nerves. And then I just got to the point where I just went, I'm just going throwing caution to the wind. People, how many people actually get up in front of anyone else and perform, So, and I'm doing it. So I overcame that fear, and it gave me the confidence to then get out there and pursue careers and things like that. I actually started doing outdoor education with my husband, and then ran my own business doing screen printing because I love creativity.
mm-hmm.
But I eventually, once we moved to WA, because we're both from the East Coast, fell into admin work and worked for state government. And that sort of grew in my confidence, and it grew in my knowledge and skills. To then I became a business manager, and that was all good. I love stats and I love order and things like that. And then from there, I ended up in tourism. I fell into tourism, and I absolutely loved it because it allowed me to be creative as well. Just working in an office, it didn't allow me to be creative while I was working. So, and that was fantastic. I got to travel. I got to go to tourism conferences. I won awards for Geraldton, where I was living at the time. It was the first time in the history that they won that Geraldton won the Top Tourism Town Award.
Wow.
And so it was just a really, really lovely thing to be a part of, and to network with so many amazing people around the state of WA. But through work circumstances and various other jobs that followed that, there seemed to be a pattern where either I was taken for granted, or people felt threatened, or I don't know what it was, but there was this pattern of being bullied and not doing anything right in their eyes, and people wanting different powers. Whatever it was just starting to crumble my world, and what I was loving was being taken away. And I got to a point where I was working with another department, and I just went, I can't do this anymore.
Oh.
And my body started actually shutting down with all the stresses that were going on, and especially the workplace bullying. And I have a real heart to help people in that space now. Yep. I got to a point where I ended up in hospital.
Oh.
It was that serious. So I spent 3 days with an IV drip in my arm. I lost like 5 kilos in a week. They were very, very concerned. My husband was worried no end. And I guess my body was saying, I've been trying to tell you for a long time that something's wrong.
Listen.
And I wasn't listening. So my body said, all right, well, I'm going to give up on you. So yes, that was the wake-up call.
Interesting you should say that, Beck, because I've just finished a 2-day leader training, and what is a very common thing is some sort of childhood trauma, whatever that may be. So yeah. I think we've all sort of been through it, and it's part of toughening us up and letting us know what life has in store for us. And we get through that, but then all of a sudden we have this other recurring thing that, well, hang on, this stuff just continues to go on. So, you know, we've got to have the tools to be able to deal with this sort of stuff when it happens. And then my wake-up call was when I got sick and rushed to hospital, and I'm going, I just wasn't listening. My body and mind and physiology had been not well for quite some time, but it took a trip to hospital before I'm going, oh, I get it. So part of my message, as with you, is to say to people, look, before it gets to that stage, you know, what can we do about it? Continue on, please.
Yeah, well, after hospital, I still had my job, but I was on contract, and it only had about 3 months left. And I just thought, I can't stay here. I can't keep doing this because the pattern is going to repeat itself.
Yeah.
And when I look at what I went through with childhood trauma, I was able to go back and actually go, well, where did this come from? And I've always been that person that at school, when friends have their little quarrels, they come to me, and then when they make up, they ignore me. And I was that person that always go to, and I was I guess I was bullied heavily at school as well. So I've always had that experience. And I just got to a point, my body gave up, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So, I saw out my contract. But in that time, I contacted my friend in Melbourne, because I'm in WA, who I went to school with, and said, let's do a road trip. So we decided to do the Nullarbor together. So basically, I finished work on a Friday. My friend flew into Perth on a Saturday, and I picked her up. We drove up to Savannah's, where I was living at the time. A couple of days in Savannah's, and then off we went. We went across the Nullarbor. And I kept saying to my friend, I'm not going to reconnect to myself because I don't know if I've ever really known myself. I want to just connect to the real me, discover the real me.
Wow.
And so I had no expectation traveling. I just wanted to go, whatever will be, will be. And we spent 3 weeks on the road, went up to Cooper Pedy, which was awesome, and had some amazing experience across the Nullarbor. If anyone tells you the Nullarbor is boring, don't listen to them. It's amazing. It's amazing. And so I ended up in Melbourne. That was the end of the trip. And my family are from Melbourne, and my brother works at Readings in Carlton. And one of the things he does is when there's a book launch, he sets it all up and then introduces the author. So he said, come along to a book launch and see me in action. And he said, while you're there, if there's any book you want, just, let me know. And there's a present for you,
Nice.
That's a nice thing for a brother to do for their sister.
Very nice.
And so I went to the book launch and wandered around afterwards, and I was looking around at books, and I don't read a lot of books, to be honest, and I don't have a lot. We've moved so many times, I don't like having too much stuff. But I went to a particular section in the library, and you know how when you're in a bookstore, all the books are sort of like the spines are like this.
Yep.
And occasionally there's a book that faces out. There was this one book that faced out, and it sort of went, I went, oh. And there was a little sticker on it, and it said, signed by the author.
All right.
So I opened it up, and it said, dear reader, wishing you lots of love, laughter, and joy. Love, Roz.
Oh.
And the book was called The Laughter Effect.
Oh.
By Roz Ben Moshe.
Oh,
and here is,
and
oh,
here it is.
Here it is. You can't even see it. It's there. It's there.
Ros, I know Ros very well, have done for many years. She was involved in the research study with kidney dialysis. I know her so well that she put you up to that, and you're getting commission from this. I know that. And before we move on from the laughter effect, and this is not scripted, this was quite ad hoc. That is the best book on laughter that I have ever read, and I've read heaps of them in my time. So, Ros, free plug to you. Beck, carry on.
Yeah, I found the book, to me, was I wanted something that had a bit of substance to it.
Yes, it does.
And it needed to explain things with backing.
Yeah.
It's all right to say something, but give me some evidence here.
Yeah.
And that's what the book did. I couldn't put it down, and it was just like, right, this is it. I've got to get into laughter. This is it.
Wow.
And the monkey on my back, I call it the monkey on my back.
Yep.
The confidence was like, oh, but I'm going to look stupid, and I'm going to be contacting strangers for the first time. And all these negative things started going to my head. So I Googled and I found some online laughter yoga. So that's basically how I started, because it was like, well, no one can see me.
Yep.
And then I found Laugh WA. And I had a chat to someone, and I said, look, I'm not ready to join. As such, I'm living outside of Perth, so I actually can't physically join you, because at the time the online laughter yoga wasn't operating from Laugh WA. But then I saw, there's some random guy called Merv Neal doing
very random,
doing an online on a Tuesday, and I thought, stop it, just do it. And I haven't looked back. And Merv, you've been wonderful. You've been really embracing my journey. And the crew at Laugh WA have been the same, really supportive. And I just, as soon as I started doing it, I just went, this is what I'm going to do for forever. While I'm still breathing on this earth, I'm going to be laughing, and I'm going to be laughing with laughter yoga. So I was going to your online every Tuesday, and then I did the training. So basically, I think I contacted you around the October time.
Yep.
And then by March, I was doing the course, and then I did the silver. I did the silver level, and then I did the gold. It was just boom, 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 boom. And now I train. So I help with Laugh WA delivering the training, and I'm on their committee, and I absolutely love it. And we've got the online presence now on a Saturday. So Lisa leads that, but we have leaders that take it in turns. So, yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, what a wonderful story, an amazing story it is. And as I said to some of the people at the leader training, I said there's another story about to begin, another chapter in your life about to begin once you get involved with this laughter stuff. Laugh WA has been around forever, since Dr. Kataria made his first visit, and established, I believe, by Jenny Goss and Grant Stone back in the days. I'm talking about 2003, 4, 5 or something like that, and has just recently been handed over to another amazing person in the laughter yoga world, Janet Whitfield, who has surrounded herself with amazing people like yourself, Beck, and Lisa, and other people to continue on that legacy of Laugh WA, and they're going from strength to strength. So what has been most notable or noticeable for you in delivering the laughter sessions?
Selfishly for me, I get a big buzz out of it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not that I'm doing the laughter yoga; it's that I'm actually helping other people laugh as well. And the feedback I get from people to say how much better they feel, that they can't wait when they hear that I'm going to be leading, which is really nice. Um, I get an absolute buzz out of that, and I've learned to laugh more because, as I said, the monkey on my back, I befriended my monkey. So I say to people, we all have thoughts in our head, and thoughts are stories. And sometimes we ignore those stories rather than actually facing those stories and saying, that's not helpful. Thank you, but no, thank you. And I learned that when I was doing my laughter yoga training. I was also training in core clearing breath work. So I'm now certified in breath work. And I also got my diploma in mental health. So all these things have joined together to make a nice little package for me in what I'm doing and what I'm hoping to continue to embark and help other people. But the monkey on my back, I had this vision of an actual monkey. And whenever I heard something, I would turn to the monkey and go, that's not helpful. Have you got something helpful to say? If not, thanks, but no thanks. But it was a really interesting thing because it actually worked for me.
Yeah.
It actually toned down those negative thoughts because it was suddenly, oh, it's like when you gossip about someone, you might not say it to their face.
Yeah.
And if you're face to face with someone, it's like, oh, better stop saying that.
Yeah.
And that's what I did with the monkey. So it's yeah, that's why I do it. I love it, and I also love the fact that giving people little bits of information about laughter. So for example, how many times does an adult laugh a day on average? And people have a guess, and you go, well, it's about 27 times a day. And we don't need jokes or humor. It might be that we talk and then go, like that. That's laughter. How many times does a baby laugh a day? And they go, oh, it's probably a lot more. And I go, yeah, on average 300. And they go, right, okay. It shows laughter, A, is the best medicine, and B, we don't laugh enough. So, yeah.
I want to get back to that monkey because it triggered so many memories and stories for me.
Oh, no.
No, it's okay. They're all good. They're all stories. And one of the things that keeps me going back is the stories of how this has impacted people's lives. It's just quite profound. And at the leader training on the weekend, we had a lady talking to me and she said, oh, I've got this thing on my shoulder and it's a little green Grinch. It's Gary. I'm going, what are you talking about? She goes, I've named it because I want to make it personal. It's Gary the Green Grinch. And whenever he's there barking away at me going blah, 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 I say, Gary, shut up. Now, this is a form of going crazy, talking to something that's not there. But I learnt more about this at a voice hearers conference, and this is people with schizophrenia, and they told me about this voice inside their head that is very disparaging and very negative and very loud to the point where, they just can't stand it anymore. So when I was talking to this voice hearer, they said to me, you've got a voice inside of you as well. And I looked at them and my little voice said, no, I haven't. I'm going, there it is. Oh my God. There it is. There's Gary, And then I was very mindful during COVID when we spent a lot of time in isolation that we were befriended by this little voice who would come and talk to us and say, different things. So I talk about the positive angel on my shoulder here that I need to encourage and keep going, and the negative devil over here who has just get rid of us. So I take it out of people's heads and make it on your shoulder. But there's a good one and there's a bad one. So you've got to keep on nourishing this one and getting rid of that one. The other story it triggered, and apologies for this, but it's a really profound story, was I was involved in a big business group. Paid a lot of money to go along and being mentored by this business group and get together. And one of the books that we read was called The Monkey in Our Business.
Mm.
What is this all about? And they said, we've all got this monkey in our business, and the monkey travels around and does a whole lot of stuff in our business. And unless the monkey's happy and cared for, it goes crazy and rips the place apart. So I went and purchased a monkey, a gorilla, and for the next sales, service and admin meeting, I sat it in the boardroom table, in the middle of the boardroom table, and they're all looking and going, oh, what crazy stuff has Merv got up to now? What's with the monkey, And I said, this is your responsibility. I said, who would like to take the monkey? Who's going to feed it and nurture it and encourage it and make sure it doesn't rip the place apart, because that's your responsibility. Then, once you've done your job, I want you to actually hand the monkey over to the next person who's responsible to look after. So naming it and actually making it real made the situation real for us. So don't just think about this voice in your head. Imagine it's a monkey sitting on your shoulder and you've got to look after it and care for it. And unfortunately, what I've found is we can't give our nasty monkey onto anybody else. We have to own that. We can invoke a counsellor or a psychologist or a therapist to help us with the monkey, but we have to own our monkey. So that was really, really profound that you should have said that. So, yeah, be careful of that little voice and promote the inner voice, the one saying, good on you, Beck, keep going.
That's it.
And you will come out of this a better person. What's been your most profound story to date, Beck? We get lots of feedback, but there's often one story that we hear and we go, oh my goodness, that's an amazing story.
Amazing story. I think for me it's so you see on the screen I'm called Happy Beck.
Yes.
So I actually made that up when I was a teenager. And it was because I was in such a bad way.
Because you're unhappy.
So I flipped it. I was like, well, if I'm so unhappy, I'm going to start saying Happy Beck. Nice. And so that's my story my whole life. So no matter what I've been through, I've still come back to I'm Happy Beck. So I've spoken it out. I've written it. I've stamped it. That's who I am. So that's my profound story is no matter what, I am Happy Beck. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. You flip the conversation.
I flip it.
About who you are.
It's all about psychological. And what I do today is I'm actually a mental health facilitator now for St. John WA. So I talk about our whole body being, the physical, emotional, spiritual, psychological, and social, and how it's all linked together. And when one suffers, it can really affect everything. So the psychological for me is no matter what is happening, I bring it back to I am Happy Beck.
Wonderful. And what you just mentioned there, what I heard was emotional, mental, physical, spiritual and social. So these are all the elements of our health, which leads nicely into a big issue that business is facing at the moment about psychosocial or psychological safety. So we've just created a program for people to use about psychological or psychosocial safety. And it's about all of those things, making sure we have a good social network, emotional, mental, physical, and the other thing is a spiritual or a purpose. So in business, what is your absolute purpose in business? So Beck, I knew we'd have no trouble in filling the half hour, and it's nearly so of all the things you've done in such a short period of time, I want to know what's next. What's the big thing for Happy Beck that's about to happen?
My thing is reaching out to people and teaching them self-care and equipping them with a self-care toolkit. So I've already named it. It's an apprenticeship in self-care.
Nice.
and my heart is for people that especially live regionally and remotely. Yes, we've got the Zoom, which is great to connect people, but there's still a lot of people out there that are living lonely. Because I've lived regional and remote, I know what it's like.
Yep.
So, and I grew up in the city, so I know what it's like to live in city and in isolation. But I do find there's a lot of lonely people out there, and that's my heart to reach those people. and teach them about looking after self. We've got so much going on that we help others. We're always doing things for others that we actually don't stop and think, well, if something happens to me, how can I help other people? I need to put me first, not in a selfish way. So it's teaching people that self-care is a good thing and equipping them with those tools. And laughter yoga is one of those essential tools.
It is indeed for your apprenticeship in self-care. I love the whole
Exactly.
idea. And something that you just said there, not in a selfish way. I'll contradict that and say it's all about being selfish. Look after me, because if I don't look after me, how can I look after and care for others? So
I meant negative in a
I
negative,
know, I know, I
selfish,
know,
the
I know.
ego. Yeah, but
I know exactly what you mean, but I'm the same as you. You know, I'll sometimes turn up to Laughter Club, which I've been doing weekly for 15 years maybe. I go, oh, I really don't feel like it, and I'm going, oh man, hang on, this is really good for me.
yeah.
But then I see these other people, and I say it's good for them as well too. So
Mm,
it's good for everybody. So that's
mm.
absolutely fantastic, Beck. It's been a delight chatting with you,
Thanks.
and the work that you do. And what's always amazed me when I was looking for a podcast guest, I'm saying, who's the new kid on the block that's doing amazing things? And it's you. So keep up the good work. And whenever you come to my Laughter Club, I know I'm going to be in for a treat because you are so creative. Where does that come from?
I think from my family, I've grown up with parents that played music.
Oh,
I've got two brothers, they play music, I play music. I've drawn and written since I can remember. So I just love creativity. I
no.
just think it brings joy not only to myself, but brings joy to others.
Nice. And
Mm.
when I spotted Becca, the first thing I spotted was that background. Where did that background come from?
It came from these. Woohoo! I love wearing my bright, happy clothes.
Nice work. So here is someone within our community, someone new to our community who's doing amazing things, who has transformed their life, and subsequently now transforming other lives. So Beck, all strength to you. It's been wonderful
Thanks.
chatting with you today. And I'm sure you won't mind if people want to get in touch with you at any stage to have a chat about
Love.
anything that you're doing, or especially the folks in Laugh WA. You're in Geraldton, and when you look at Australia, you go, yeah, it's a big country, but especially in WA, Geraldton is what, 5 hours drive from,
Pretty much, yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it's this far from Perth. You know, there is
Yeah.
there is there is the rest of Australia that it travels. So there's a really big region there, and certainly this isolation. And Lisa, who was one of our guests, talked about the challenges that fly in, fly out. Minus working with the isolation and that as well too. So
And I've actually done that too with St. John, flown out and delivered for mine sites. It's
wonderful,
wow.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
great opportunity. All right, thank you, Beck. We must sign off. Lovely hearing
Welcome.
from you, and I'll see you online sometime.
Bye.
Okay, see you. Bye.